Okay, welcome everybody around the world. Welcome to all my subscribers. I have a huge update on my dream that I did yesterday or the day before, where I had that terrifying prophetic dream of what could only be a Hamas attack or Hamas type attack in what I felt was a European country. Very large old city with like cobblestone everywhere. There was a canal, and it was an absolutely horrible terror attack, just like what we saw happen in Israel on October 7th. And I lived through it. So I have another video where I give all the details and describe the emotions and everything. It's an absolutely lifelike dream. And as I was saying, just the severity, the magnitude, and the sheer magnitude of the emotions in the dream, just how real it was to the max level, 100%. It has to be a prophetic warning from God that this event is going to take place. So it was up to me to try and solve where was it going to take place. And I could vividly remember what it looked like, the city and everything. So I spent the last day or two searching to see where I could to find any places where it could be. And long story short, there's a lot of places in the world that probably have old cities with cobblestone areas, but had to have a huge, wide open, like square, like a big area which wasn't like a road, no asphalt, just a big open cobbled square with old style buildings and like a park and a canal. So that narrows it down. But anyways, long story short, I felt that it was in Europe. It wasn't in Africa. I wasn't surrounded by Africans. I wasn't surrounded by Chinese or Japanese, surrounded by white people. So it could have been America. It could have been Canada, arguably. It could have been Europe. And maybe even like Turkey, somewhere like that. So those are the places I had narrowed it down to. But nonetheless, the impression, the feeling that I got was that it was France. Okay. And it could have been because of the style of the architecture. But a lot of European places, Venice and this and that, they have similar type old buildings. But nonetheless, my gut feeling was France. So in all my research, I've been poking around, looking at different places, and I found a place in France that when I looked up, because I was looking for places in France, old style cities, cobblestone streets that have canals. And I would go through searching for place names, photos, and keep looking through until I found ones that resembled the place I was in. Okay, and long story short, I think I hit the bullseye. I think what the place is called is Place Denfert-Rochereau. Now, that doesn't mean anything to anybody, but what is there, everybody knows about. In this place are the French catacombs, okay? And when I looked up photos, the way I found this place was I was looking for cobblestone old cities in France that had canals, okay, and browsing through all the different ones in the photos, right? And when I found photos of Place Denfert-Rochereau, however you pronounce Rochereau, when I saw the picture, it struck me like a slap across the face. It had a big, giant, open, cobbled square with the buildings, old style buildings on the outskirts of that square. When I looked at that picture, it struck me. I was like, that is the place I was in, like 99% sure. And there were trees to the side, just like in my dream, like a little park or something, just like I said. So I looked more and more into this place. I found out that's where the French catacombs are. And it's quite possible that that big cobbled area has catacombs under it. But nonetheless, because I found out they can't build tall buildings on top of the catacombs, right? What I realized and put together was the catacombs are underground tunnels. What did Hamas use in Gaza but underground tunnels? That's what they like using. That makes it eerily more real, okay? More plausible. This wouldn't just be a random place that they picked to attack if this dream is a true warning that such would occur. But they would have picked such a place to attack because it has underground tunnels already there. Tunnels that people don't often go into at all. And dare I say, because I've thought about this since, what if they, because they're already up in France, I'm not saying Hamas are, right? But, they had supporters, their supporters and others, who fight for their type of cause, they're up in France, right? Who are aligned, whatever the right term would be. What if the ones up in France are just occupying the tunnels now, or they're creating like access tunnels to connect up to the catacomb tunnels. And what if, like I said in my dream, the attack came out of nowhere? Like on October 7th, they came down in paragliders and stuff and on motorbikes and cars, right? But it still happened by surprise. But I was in this dream. Everybody was walking around the city, beautiful sunny day, normal day, people everywhere. And then all of a sudden, the terrorists arrived, like just suddenly, like out of nowhere and like everywhere. That's what it was like in my dream. And when I thought about it and combined with the fact with the catacombs have exit points here and there throughout the city, right? If they were hiding out in the catacombs or had a secret access tunnel to link to the catacomb tunnels, then they could station their people all throughout the city underground in these different areas, hide out that people wouldn't even know, and they could just emerge out like groundhogs and start the attack. And it's scary. I'm kind of shaking a little bit because it seems quite plausible. So, nonetheless, like I said, the place is called Place Denfert-Rochereau. And if you look at the picture's huge cobbled square with the buildings right up along the edges, just like I said I saw in the dream. And when you look at the map, you can even see it on Wikipedia, right? Wikipedia has a bird's eye view map of this area because it's part of the city of Paris, right? Paris is obviously very huge. And there are canals here. Okay, that was the other condition because in my dream, I led my family to escape along the side of this canal. Now, there are canals in this place, Denfert-Rochereau. And ironically, one of the pictures of a French canal that I had seen the last day or two when looking for this, I was trying to find canal, like steps going down the side of a canal, because I just had faith that the ones I used in my dream were real, and then I would find a picture of them, that God would lead me to it. Well, I found a picture that was shockingly just like the steps that I went down with the little canal, with the trees up the side, just like I said. And it was called Canal St. Denis. But I thought there's no way that God would lead me to this right off the bat and I would find the answer so quickly. Like it felt too good to be true. But nonetheless, Canal St. Denis does have that feature, those features. And Canal St. Denis runs through Place Denfert-Rochereau. Coincidence? I think not. So the point is, the place I was in my dream, like 99 to 100% resembles Place Denfert-Rochereau, where the French catacombs are, where there are canals, such as Canal St. Denis, which looks exactly like the one in my dream. Everything is there. Everything is there. If you look at the overhead map of that area, you can see that they have the little parks and the strips of land, just like I said in my dream. Okay? It is identical, right? And just the very fact that the catacombs are there, I'm sorry, but this seems like this is the place. Okay? But I 1% reserve that maybe it's somewhere else that looks similar to Place Denfert-Rochereau. But so what can I say, right? I'm not going to reach out to authorities and tell them because this was a prophetic dream. Okay? It's a dream. It's a warning from God. Okay? So I hope that such a thing doesn't occur. I had to live through it in the dream, and it was terrifying. And the most terrifying thing I've gone through in my life, or of any dream I've ever had. And it makes my end days dreams look pale in comparison to the sheer terror that we went through. But if God was warning me and letting me see this, based on all the trauma and the death and everything that was happening during the massacre in my dream, I am compelled to warn people, right? But I can only warn people through my message in my videos, right? So I hope that, through inspiration, God might lead them to find the video and hear the warning, and just beware. If you live in that area, or like I said before, anywhere else that fits that description, then just beware, right? I had this dream, and let's not ignore it as a warning. It could very well happen. But like I learned in that dream, unfortunately, the terror attack was so well thought out and they were so thorough. I don't know how. There's no way, there's no plan you could have to survive. And there isn't, even after me going through it, there's no advice I can give anybody. Because everywhere that me and my family went to run and hide, they were ransacking, finding, searching through, and killing. And it was just futile and hopeless. So all I can do is just, still feeling the remnants of that trauma that I went through and experienced in that dream. All I can do is what I feel is the right thing and relay the message to people relay that it could be a very real warning from God and to just beware. Okay, that's all I can say. And let's hope and pray that it doesn't happen. But if it does, let's just hope and pray that God will warn the people somehow and that as many people will be protected and kept safe as possible. So that's all I could say. If anybody wants to has faith or wants to consider, even if they're in the authorities and they want to consider what I'm saying, for the safety and sake of the people of France, then I would just say do a little quick survey of the catacombs. That's what I would say. Do some ground penetrating radar at points where they could connect to secret tunnels that they're building. These are just ideas that I'm having, right? So if anybody out there in the authorities thinks, let's just look into this. Why not, right? Maybe it is a divine sign from God, a warning. My tip would be start checking the catacombs now. Okay, do some radar scans around the edges of them and see where they connect over to. That's all I could say because this happened in my dream, man. This happened and it was so real. So, anyways, may God be with everybody. May God protect everybody. I really hope that this event doesn't happen. What happened in my dream was terrifying. I don't know how many people died, but it was countless people. So, anyways, take care, folks. Let's hope that it doesn't happen, but that God will protect as many people as possible if it does happen. Anyways, take care, folks. God bless.